Hi everyone, thank you for joining. Let me see if I can share my screen. I hope I can do that. Um, there we go. So let's see. So this is my first time trying to do something like this. I hope the recording is going to be working fine. I have uploaded a couple of videos in the past. I've been feeling like doing it, for the last couple of months or weeks. So today, Saturday, I decided I'm going to try to do a live stream. I mean, I don't have any followers at the moment, but maybe it's good to to try out how things work in this way. So I was basically wanting to make this streaming about n8n. Um, Let me check in my phone just in case to see how the stream is looking. But can I do that even? I hope. Uh, so just give me 1 second. How can I check if this is working? Mm, Here maybe. Yep. Yeah, apparently it's working. So I hope, yeah, the sound and the video is going to be fine. But I wanted to explore n8n and see what happens if I do this live test. I installed this software last night. What I did to install n8n, you probably know about it. I guess that's why you came to this video. Uh, but otherwise, n8n it's a software that allows you to build automations. It's basically a way of programming, but visually with these nodes that you can connect to each other. So you can use, I understand you can use an online version of it, yeah, but you can also self-host it. The self-hosting means that you need to either put it in your own computer or server or service, and you only have to pay for that, or but not for the software itself. You do have some limitations, I believe. I have seen some of it somewhere. Um, we can check that out. I think it's on the docs, which I have been with software like this in the past, but it was actually in another space. That software that I worked with, it was called Pentaho or Spoon, which is something. It looks similar, but it's a software that is more specialized for that data transformation. This one is more about a more general purpose, if I understand correctly. So we will see. And the thing is, I see we have some limitations in the community edition. Um, I don't understand this software that much to know how is this going to impact the things that I want to try and build. Um, First of all, I already see that you cannot create your own variables. That sounds interesting for sure. I still don't know what do they mean with that, so it's tricky. But we will see. So the way in which I'm currently using the software is with Docker. I ran these two commands, and now I probably have it here. Yeah, it's been running with my computer even closed. So let's restart it just in case. You have to run that command and it will spin it up. So I was thinking in building something in particular, and using this opportunity, trying out the live streaming to what what happens if I think about this idea and build it from scratch all entirely within the streaming, or at least most of it. So basically, the idea is to will be to see if I can build a migration automation in n8n. And when I mean migration, I mean for websites. I have seen, I got into this project a couple of weeks ago in which I had to migrate a website from Joomla or WordPress, that kind of CMS, to something more modern that I was able to choose. So for that, what I did, I think I have something here. Let me see if I can um, open up this for you. A brief document in which where I was outlining some of the stuff that I wanna tackle. Should be here. Yeah, this is an idea that I had a couple of days ago, a real-time walkthrough, even though that I don't know the software very well yet. So the idea will be to build a website migration automation to target outdated websites with CMS like WordPress or Joomla. And we could even target Facebook pages. This was an idea from a friend of mine, Adrian, and I think it makes a lot of sense. There are probably thousands or millions of Facebook pages that people probably don't build the website because it's too tricky or expensive, but it's an interesting idea. And then convert those sites to modern JavaScript, for example, with as minimal human intervention as possible. So here are the reasons for this project that I was thinking about. I recently had to migrate a website myself. That took around 4 weeks. It's gonna take one more. It's probably around 5 weeks, and we are probably have to take care of some details later. So it's not. It's easy to do, but it takes time. When you have a website with content that has been building up for the past 10 years, that's a lot of content to move around. So I thought this could be automated heavily. Um, and yeah, it's also related with some other things that I've been trying to work by myself on my spare time, trying to build my own applications, services, businesses. So we will see. The idea will be what if I can take this down from, say, 5 weeks or even six to, say, 1 week or 1 day or 2 days, or like, yeah, as minimal as possible, or why not just one click and waiting for, say, 30 minutes, like that kind of migration. I even, and this was another reason for me to keep thinking about this solution, because am I sharing? Yeah, because since I started to think about it, some people started to show up, like even without me saying anything about it. a lot of people started to show up with the same issue, and that was like an indication for me, like, man, I really need to get and build this automation, to help these people out or make some money, whatever. But yesterday I was taking a look at this website with a friend of mine, and he was planning to move his site from GoDaddy to Hostinger or wherever. And we were taking a look at the requirements to use the free website migration that this provider has. And one of the requirements is that your website should be built on WordPress or Joomla, which was a great coincidence, really. And some agreements and whatnot. Yeah, and some other more technical stuff or like ethical stuff. But yeah, that this was an interesting finding yesterday, and I guess it makes sense that they allow you to do a quick migration only if you have this, because that's what they are prepared for, and these are probably the most well-known CMS platform, so that could be a thing as well. But it was crazy, very interesting to see that what I was thinking about after spending 4 weeks migrating a website manually and seeing someone looking for an expert in n8n, and then I was like, maybe I need to learn this and I can apply it to my own case. What if I apply it to the migration and speed up that time? It was interesting. Then someone else showed up with another WordPress website. Then this guy showed up as well, in which we find this one. So there were a lot of signals to continue with this. So we'll see. The idea will be to use the following tools. This is going to be, I guess, for all types of people. I don't know if you are experienced or not. You could find this helpful. I don't know. I'm just trying to do it and share the information that I can find, learn about it in real time, and also wanting to share the way that I work. I want to share the tools that I use. How do I use those tools? Yeah, and make connections. So that's probably the biggest plan. Make connections, build a network, connect with other people. So yeah, the idea will be to use a self-hosted n8n. In this case, we have it locally. We're running it with Docker within a terminal. If you don't know how to use the terminal, you need to become a friend with it. It's really easy. It's really helpful. Otherwise, when we move to production, we should we should probably use DigitalOcean. I don't know if we're going to have other choices. We could investigate. But I have been using this in the case that I've been working with in the website that I have been migrating. But yeah, let's leave it this. We are going to use GitHub for sure. Why? Because we need to build a front end for the website that we will migrate. We're probably going to have there the front end that's going to involve templates, yeah, and some other things probably. So if you don't know about GitHub, this could be a good opportunity to learn about it as well. We are going to use a lot of Cursor probably and some Visual Studio Code as well. I like both. I have been using this for years. Then I discovered Cursor and I love it as well. There are some subtle differences. Sometimes some of the keyboard shortcuts are different. And usually I also try to open up one folder or one repo in Visual Studio. For example, here I have this one's called TEA backend, which has um, Strapi, which is a CMS. I have not this one, but Strapi, which is a headless CMS built with TypeScript, Node.js. So this is what I offered to this client that I had, and they are very happy with it. I think it's very easy to use. It's open source, so it's great, and you can self-host it as well. So for this, you can also use DigitalOcean. Um, we are gonna make a diagram in just a couple of minutes, so bear with me there. It's gonna be clearer soon. We are going to be using Claude, of course, a lot. This is what I use a lot. It's like my new notepad, I will say, to be honest. I use a lot of notes. I write a lot of notes, and Claude has been my new notepad, which is crazy. Maybe we will be using some database manager. We can use this one. There are some other ones more pretty, but I don't know. This is the terminal that I use, Docker, of course. And I have been trying out and deploying a lot of stuff to Cloudflare lately, and I've been feeling really comfortable with it. So we are probably be using that as well. So as you can see, what else? Well, for the front end and for the templates, what can I say? We will definitely look at Pinterest. This is a great place. I love to go there to look for references for the front end. And I like to show this because this is something that you don't see usually. I watch a lot of tutorials, and having this wide range of tools, that's something that you don't see usually. And having tools like Pinterest, say PureRef, or maybe we could try Figma. I don't think Framer, but or maybe even like Illustrator. We will see. Google Fonts or some other stuff, but yeah, it's a wide range of tools that's going to be very helpful. At least that's what I hope. And in regards of the coverage of the course, I hope, yeah, my pronunciation is somewhat tolerable. From the very first interaction with n8n, which is almost there, I installed this last night, and I was able to build this thanks to clicking around and chatting with Claude as well. But as you can see, this is very the bare minimum. I installed it in my machine. I ran it. We'll see. And so the idea will be to get to the building of the very minimum modern front end, making things work, from scratch. And it definitely sounds like it could be a long journey, but we will see what we can do. Basically, this is the idea. This right here. And maybe I can use it for myself. If I make it work, maybe I can use it for myself to speed up my process. Maybe I can sell this as a service so other people can use it as well without me being there. They doing their own migrations, their own stuff, just like another web service application, maybe charging by the migration or a monthly subscription or whatever. We will see. And maybe other people can replicate what we see here and use it on their own advantage. So yeah, let's see. I think I want to. I think before jumping into n8n, which is definitely going to be fun and interesting, let's build a diagram first, which in this case we are probably going to have to add this as part of the tools. This is the one that I've been using lately. Draw. It's actually draw.io. There are other ones, but I'm kinda used to this one. Did I save this or not? Nope. So let's make this from scratch. Oh no, I can open it. Create new. Migration automation. We'll call this project like that, and then we have to actually save the file. We'll save it with the same name. I like to start here. Lately in the last couple of years, drawing things out is very good to get an understanding of things. So let me get a paper that I have here in my notebook. I know I wrote that down. Here. So I made this with pen and paper, but let's try to get it on the computer. I think it's gonna be great. So we will be all on the same page. Let me remove this. I hope things are working fine. Actually, give me just 1 minute. I'm gonna double check that the streaming is going well, and then we will draw the diagram here. Oh, sorry. Let me send that link to me. It's weird that you cannot pause. You can silence. So yeah, seems to be working. It's a little laggy, but with a little bit of lag, but we'll just go with it. I need to get a more powerful computer at some point. So let's see. Okay. Let's see if we can build this real time. So how should we make it? We are basically going to try to build a migration automation website migration automation. That's basically it. That's the idea. Let's put this here. And yeah. So then I guess we could. Yeah, so this I'm gonna try to replicate what I was drawing the other day. Then we can improve based on what we find. So basically, we are going to have, for example, let me write down some services here, some providers. We will have those there. DigitalOcean. I put this one here. Not sure about it. We will see. So basically, the way I was thinking about this, and as you realize, I'm also like looking to think about this problem in real time. There are things that I haven't figured out yet. So anyway, why should we think about Cloudflare for this thing that we want to build? Cloudflare could allow us to have pages and workers, which is let me make it more clear. Pages for the front end of our websites and workers if we want to have some saying just functionality is not correct, but in case we want to get more, maybe say a bit more powerful or more secure, being able to use workers is a good thing. The good thing about this is that there is a very generous tier, Cloudflare free tier pages or something like that. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to show up here, but pricing. But let me see. It's just that I didn't want to log in, but let me do it. Okay, here it is. So I'm in my Cloudflare account. I have some domains here. I have a couple of actually around 10. And I have some other domains in some other providers that I want to bring to this one. But you can have many. I'm not sure how much you can have for the account. Maybe there is not a limitation within the account. I'm not sure. But you do have limitations within the domain. And say, for example, for the free domain, you can have, well, it's not showing it here, but you can have a lot, trust me, like lots of visits, So this could be a way of thinking about this to say, oh, yeah, I see. It seems to be a limitation on the account. in which you can have around 100,000 visits and some other stuff. But if we are going to scale this service, we are definitely going to uh, increase the account to be more powerful. Here it is, the paid, which says $5. Not sure what that's supposed to mean. But yeah, it's very, I guess the way this is thought about is to be on a very large scale. So this could be a way for us to deploy our front ends and some functionality, of course, and they of course have an API to which we can connect to it dynamically or programmatically, so we don't have to do some of the things manually. We want to be using Strapi, which is an alternative to Joomla or WordPress. Nothing bad with those systems. It's just that I don't trust them. I don't know how to use them. I tried Strapi and I liked it, so this is what we are going to use. For then, in order to self-host Strapi, you need to have a server. So then we could use a droplet from DigitalOcean, yeah. And then I started to see this as how can I draw this? Let's try to think about this. What if you think about this like in tiers? Say you have here a separation in which this could be called a basic or plain website, in which you only use Cloudflare, or a very simple website. And this could have one price, This could be, I don't know, say 5 or whatever. We don't know really. We could have another separation of tiers in which we have a website and CMS integration. Maybe you come from this scenario and you want to migrate, but you want to migrate to something more basic for now, because for some reason we should give you that the possibility to do that. And then thinking, for some reason, I'm not sure about this one, but what about if a more powerful, let's say this is for power users or something. Not sure what could you automate that's more related with each business. But if we are going to be using n8n for our service, maybe we find some patterns that we can offer as services for other businesses. We are probably going to be able to find some of that, and this could have another plan. Say this one is 5, this one will be 10, this one could be 15. And of course, also, if you are going to be DigitalOcean and this CMS, this is going to be, we should only be an intermediate here. We are going to be an intermediate in everything, but depending on the type of, on the amount of content, the type of website that you want to build, or some other limitations, the user should be paying for what they use in DigitalOcean. We could be transparent with that and say, okay, so this is what you have to pay monthly. This is for our service, and this is what you pay for the server. That's not money we are making. You need to pay for the server anyways, and that's the cost, Maybe it's good to be transparent about it. So there's a mix of things going on here. And maybe, yeah, and this we could think about the business, about the different services that we can offer in these sort of tiers. Then what else? Let me see. On top of this, we are going to have our n8n, which is going to probably could be here, could be somewhere else. It needs to be somewhere. This should be able to connect to all these APIs, and or at least try to reduce the amount of human interaction as possible from both sides, from our end and from the as a business offering the service, and for the client as well. So maybe here we can make n8n connect to Cloudflare API, connect to DigitalOcean API. Maybe we can create droplets on demand very dynamically. So we create a new droplet every time we receive a new request, here's something else. This is, I'm not sure what's that going to be, but let's leave that right there. So that's part of the system. Then we could make another division about this, in which we are going to have a front end. How can we call this? The front end, the client facing, yeah, to offer our services. So this is something else that needs to be built. So the n8n automation is just a part of it. I also think it's good to build this diagram, show it real time as well, because there is so much hype going on lately, and it's a reality that we can build things faster and faster, but maybe things got faster or easier to do, but they are still complex subjects. So it's one thing that you have this workflow, say let me see if I can find a picture. Yeah, this one. But if I give you this one as a user, for me, it's the same as nothing. If I give you something like this, you don't even know what to look at, So we need to make a very user-friendly, very easy to use, modern, mobile first, dark mode, the whole thing, to allow you to connect to all of this that is going on over here, So then if we have our front end here, let's say we want to have another one here, in API. Well, that could be something. Not now that I think about it. We can have this itself could be a Cloudflare page. It's it would be nice to use this because I'm comfortable with it lately, but also to use the same thing that we offer, So our front end, this could be made in JavaScript, in React, with Bit or Byte. We could have a worker, Cloudflare worker here, doing stuff for us. We could have here, we should have at least one database in which we store information about our users, about their subscriptions or payments. We could have even more than one database depending on what type of things do we need to store. So, and this is where we are going to have the people coming, they're going to see this very pretty, very modern user interface, very easy to use. In a sense that for me, what I think about it is like they should have a way of saying migrate from, say, site A to site B, or from origin to destiny, or like, yeah, what would be the simplest way to migrate a website? So basically, take this URL, pick a template, press migrate. That's it, click migrate. That will be like 3 steps, 3 selections options. So now that, if you think about this itself, this single option, I like to be able to think in these terms, make it super, super easy. I have this URL, company.com, which is built with WordPress, and I need to have a button to migrate it to, and to keep my whole content, to keep all the content that I have been writing for the last 10 years. Everything should be there in the Destiny website without losing anything. It should be quick, fast, and very trustworthy. It should be that easy, super simple. So now this is what they are going to see, but all of this is what is going on in the background. So they are probably not going to connect to the n8n API. We should probably have some interface here, like this is the n8n workflow. Let's, my mind's going to this place. Let's say you have one. Oh, let's see if I can do that. Yeah, let's say you have many ways, like this one and this one and this one. Those could be 3 entry points, and maybe these nodes that you build with n8n, we start to recycle them in different ways. But let's say you have different entry points here, and it could get complex as well. So let's say this is an interface, an abstraction to this. So in order to make it easier to connect to this, so when someone clicks here through our front end, which is deployed here, we could take some logic here, see if they paid or not, or if they are registered or whatever. Let's call it business logic that you want to have, what that we want to have, we can have it here. Eventually, we connect to this one. That's going to connect there. So here, what else? In order to keep going, we could have Google authentication here. For that, we could use Clerk. So that's something we can use to our tools, or let's call it, it's not really tools, only technologies. Yeah. Services. So this is what we could offer to our users. You can log in using Google, super easy, super secure. So this is going to, then if we go back a little bit and we think about the pricing or the business model, if that's the expression, I'm not sure, we could be like charging by migration. We could be charging monthly or by subscription or something like that. But I feel by migration makes more sense. That way, if you want to migrate a very basic site, you do it there. That's it. This could have its own limitations as well in the fact of the price. Let's say we will tell you, yeah, 5 is the migration. That's interesting. Let's think about it. So in this tier, let's say 5 is the migration process. This is what we are going to charge the user to migrate the site when the site is very basic and you don't want to have a CMS involved. I don't know what's the original state of your website. You could have a CMS. Maybe I'm thinking out loud because, and sorry for making this longer, but nowadays, this is my thought process. Nowadays, we have LLMs, which we didn't have in the past. And the fact that LLMs are now available through APIs and through systems like n8n, that opens up the possibilities of the things that we can do. So let's say you come from a website with a CMS with 10 years of information, but for some reason you only want to have this basic migration. You just want to pay $5. You can do that. Maybe we will build a landing page for you, in which we could digest some of the content that you have, or maybe you could even choose or tell us, okay, so you should read these pages in order to make our landing page. Okay. Anyway, so that's why I think this is a good moment to learn this kind of tools like n8n. And one more thing, the fact that we could charge 5, this is also, I think, a good subject for discussion if there is anyone there listening at some point. I've been migrating this website for the past 4 weeks. Let's say it's going to take 5, maybe 6, because I'm lazy sometimes. But anyway, and I could get other gigs to do the same. Let's say I have been charging for that from 500 USD to 1,000 or 1,500 for that kind of work. Something tells me that if someone has to come here and pay for this service, they're not gonna want to pay $500 for it. 5, 1, 5, 10, 20, 25. I don't know, but it's not much more than that. So I guess this goes to another conversation about the price of our work. I feel, I guess, opposite feelings with this, because at some point I'm building something that's going to make it much, much cheaper, but it allows for other scale. So anyway, I guess this is a time I feel we are living in some sort of revolution. So I guess this is a way of me to adapt to this scenario. Anyway, going back to this, let's say you charge for the migration process itself, then you can have free hosting up to, I don't know, 100 visits. I have no idea. I'm just making it up. Anything that allows us to use Cloudflare efficiently, or whatever the provider is later. If we stick to Cloudflare, we should have something. We should analyze this further, and then if your site is very popular, otherwise you pay more. And then how much do you pay? Well, we need to look at it, but it's basically having two prices. Let's make it another one. So a migration price and then a hosting price, which has the option to be free up to some point, so it's a big thing. I mean, only this one is a lot. This one is huge. This is probably gonna be a mess as well. This is a huge, pretty big ecosystem of many things working together. Only the front end, there are gonna be many pages with a lot of logic, lots of validations and responsiveness and whatnot. So it's a good way to have an idea of what will this imply, what else. So whatever the migration is, we should be able to take a website from state A, let's call it, all the way to a new state B, which should be more modern, should look better, should be cheaper, more efficient, more prepared, more secure, should be easy to do, should be fast and quick and cheap. That's the idea. And if we put these things together in a good way, I think we can achieve that. Let's rename this sheet to be ecosystem overview. I guess I like building these ecosystems. Maybe that's what I like to do. I'm trying to see if we are missing something. Yeah. But the idea about Facebook pages is interesting. It makes you think. Like in an abstract sense, wherever there is a ton of information, maybe that could be converted into a website, or maybe there's people that are looking for that service. Let's not forget about these things that we want our users to have. Dark mode for sure. We want to be mobile first. Like, what if you are on the bus, and you want to migrate a website? I don't know if that type of cases actually happen, but it's what comes to my mind for some reason. Then the fact that you can be, say, some sort of power user or monthly subscriber, that would mean that you are migrating many websites, like some sort of agency, and you should be able to do that, but maybe we can offer some sort of discount. But we will see. All right, yeah. So the migration price, this is a single payment, You only pay once, unless you want to migrate again later. But you know what? That's interesting. Then this could be a recurrent payment. So we have two modalities here, and our system, which is probably here, yeah, there's gonna be so much information here. Our system should be prepared for that as well, to be able to accept those type of things. So what was I about to say? The fact that the migration is a single payment, that's something that you do once you migrate the website. Let's say some time goes by and then you want to migrate again. So that's interesting. I don't want to go too beyond in the future, but you could migrate to other providers. Maybe we facilitate your own information in a easy way. So, we were looking at this page a few minutes ago. You see how they support easy migration only if you are within these boundaries. Well, I don't know how easy that is. Today we have LLMs. That's for sure. That's probably going to make things easier and harder. But what if they have Strapi here as well? Or what if here they say, as long as you can have this protocol or this way of communicating, maybe website migration it becomes something more trivial, although as you can see it's something complex. But yeah, I was maybe trying to think in saying like we should store your information in some way, either if you are on the CMS version of it or not, or just a landing page, so you don't have to rewrite it again. It's easily accessible, and we can use it to transform your website in many ways, in many shapes, and maybe even if you want to go somewhere else, here's everything in a proper, organized way, so you can speed up your own process, because that's what we care about. We care about that efficiency. If you want to go somewhere else, do your thing, so anyway, so I think this is a good starting point. It's a bit messy, but we can organize this better. Let's call it a big one, to have this as a register, as a memory. I was thinking of using my school private community. If you ever wanna join there, it doesn't have any members yet. I'm the only one there, and I have been posting music. That's all I've been doing. It will be good to make this grow. If you want to join, let me know. Maybe I will share this diagram. I could share this PDF. I could share the things that I've been doing in n8n so far. Like this is a starting point that I took. Let me see. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, starting up. Maybe I can find a way to export this. I have never done that. We can learn about it together, and share all those files in my community. If you can support me, my work. Let me know if you like what you're seeing. I'm trying this out. This is new for me, but I like communicating. I like sharing stuff. So maybe this is the way to go in regards to my career path. But I was about to tell you something else. Um, so yeah, maybe we can. How long have we been? Oh, an hour. That's nice. So give me a few minutes, and I will come back, and maybe we can go about this small thing that I have been doing here, but something that came up also. That's going to be interesting because I not only want to share what I do or the tools, or I like the idea of showing my thought process because I find that I like to do that, and I'm open to other point of views. So anything that you can see and you can share and say in a constructive manner to help me be a better professional or developer, I'm really open to it. So give me a couple of minutes, 5, 10, 15, and I will come back and we will continue. Hey everyone. So, oh yeah. So okay, so my thought process was I want to learn n8n, n8n. I feel that I want to learn this tool better to apply it in personal use case. Maybe try to apply it here. I see this could be a good idea. Um, so then I was like, okay, I have been doing a lot of software development with Cursor for the past months. And when it comes to this type of tools, that's going to be tricky because at least until today, or maybe I don't even know about it, I don't think you have some sort of agent here like you can have with Cursor. So we will see. But I am going to be using Claude a lot for sure. So for that, one of the things that I did was to create a new project, call it n8n. I'm gonna start uploading some documentation here. I find that's very helpful. So that's when I was like, okay, lately I like to prepare Claude or Cursor to be better at generating text and responses to me. So I was, let's say, if I try to do something like in a documentation PDF, that's what I actually wanted. I'm not sure if there is something. Oh, there. Yeah, I don't know. We will see. But what I basically wanted to do is to have a summary, not a summary, but the whole documentation about and be able to put it here. Very technical information. So Claude is gonna give me better responses. So actually, see, this guy was actually, I want to have the documentation to feed to AI to make data workflows. Right. Mm. Yeah, you should make it as a text. Yeah, so I can see already there are people wanting to do the same thing that I was trying to do, feed the DNA documentation to my AI helper, which is Claude in this case. And this could probably be helpful for other situations as well, because lately there's a lot of documentation in this format. And I know Claude can now can search the web, but maybe if I can save that. So I was like, okay, maybe before going to the actually building the workflow that we need to enable this, one of the things that I can do is try to digest, to extract the documentation from this website. So it's basically web scraping. I hope that I think that's the term, and I hope I'm not getting into some sort of trouble. Yeah, I'm doing this with good intentions, and also trying to build this workflow with. I know it's gonna give me some knowledge that I'm going to be reutilizing later. So I thought that could be a good first step. So basically, this is what I created last night. These were my plans for the Friday night. So in n8n you can have nodes, which are pieces of processes that you can reutilize. You can have a node like this one, in which I can click and double click or press enter to open up the details. Basically, this is your canvas in which you can draw these workflows. You can connect more nodes to it or in between. When you open one in detail, your screen is being split in 3 parts. You have the right on the output. What is this node going to produce? The input, what information are you passing to it? And some configuration to it. You can have, for example, this node in particular is an HTTP node, which you can use to connect to websites, like for this one, n8n.io, trying to see if this file exists there. I can test this once. Be careful if you do things like that, because if you do this within a loop, they could probably like block you from the website or something. You have seen here, you can see the execution went well. I was trying to try this one because I think it's going to be something that I'm going to have to use for the migration as well. Sitemaps are some files that you can place in your website to tell web scrapers like Google what is the structure of your website, so they can scan it better to make it show up in the search results much better. So here I can use this node to get the sitemap of the n8n documentation, include some settings and whatnot. So this is the output. If I go there, it should be the same if I visit that URL. This is the same we are looking on n8n, which is basically a list of URLs. And each URL is gonna give us different information. Like what if we visit this one? Yeah. So here it is. We have a last modification, which is very helpful. I'm not sure if this is a standard structure of it. We can investigate about it for sure. Sitemap, XML. Yeah, sitemaps is a protocol format. Yeah. Oh, okay. A simple sitemap that contains just one URL. So yeah, it's basically, this is a standard way. Oh, this is interesting as well. This as well. So if we are trying to do site migrations or extract the documentation from n8n, in those 2 cases, we could probably use the sitemap and take a look at this and say, if your website has so many pages, but this one has never been modified and it has a low priority, maybe you can skip that and add some logic to it, So basically, and you can press escape or click outside to go back to the canvas. You can also click here to move to the next one. This node is called, I'm not sure what was the name of this one, but you can basically translate from one format to the other. For some reason, I was trying to format it into JSON, which is here. That could be redundant, or it's probably good for JavaScript. We will see. Then the next one that I have is this one. I was trying to extract only one item from the list, say the first one. So it should be this one probably. If I extract that, as you can see, this node, which I changed its name to extract single URL, it's actually giving me a single URL, which is giving me, in this case, this one, which is probably the first one that is showing up in the sitemap XML. It's here, yeah, that's the one, which makes you think, like, if I was going here to get the sitemap, then this first URL is probably the same one, so you could probably skip the first one or not. We will see. The next step, once you have that, I could have this get URL content. What is this doing? Oh, it seems to be a get an HTTP node, which is gonna get the website from the previous tab, which is this one. And it seems that you can even see what else was going on in the past, which is really nice. So here we have the content of that website, which is the same that if we go there, if we go to this website, we see this one, but if we like try to see the page source, we will have this huge code. Oops. It's even making my computer a bit slow. But there's a ton of information there, and we don't care about everything that's there. We just care about the actual information that we can use to study about this technology, but to pass to Cloud to give us better answers. So we are quickly facing a challenge that we didn't thought about it when we were thinking about the solution in general terms, which it has to do with crawling a website, visiting all its pages, getting all its content, and cleaning it up in some way to say you can clean it up. Let's try this one. This is another node. This is a function node, which is a type of node in which you can enter code either in JavaScript or Python. So what this one is doing, it's generating a binary data, which can be used for storing into files. And then I have another node to actually save that to a file or write it to a disk. But let's see what came out. So this is what we currently have. This is another node which is extracting the response. As you saw, all this XML thing, HTML thing, with so many information there, but what we care about it is not all of that. We care about, maybe we care about this, we care about something about here, maybe we don't care about this list, or yes, but we definitely don't care about everything going on the footer. Oh, since we have templates, that's nice. Yeah, so there are things here that we care and things that don't. So it's not easy to put a limit in which you either extract everything or you extract a very, let's say, only the headings. So in this case, you could only extract this. but then you are losing information. So the extraction of the information is also an interesting problem in itself. For the version that I currently have, this is what we were able to extract from that single page. Again, since we have LLM technology today, we could fit this into other steps. Say you will have other nodes here. Maybe you have this is some sort of loop in which you go through a huge number of websites. Maybe the number of websites that you are going to crawl has to do with the type of website or the price, or maybe the $5 is the migration for, say, up to 100 pages or less. Make it 50. So that's something interesting that started to show up right there. How do you think about it? So yeah, I feel this is good. These are good decisions, challenges, and I think it's very nice to be open about it, show it in real time. And also, I have been connecting with a lot of people lately trying to build their own stuff. And again, I don't want to be mean when I say hype. Like, it's easy to code lately, easier. But it's nice that people know that they are still complex solutions. You still have to put some thought in it. And because of that, having a professional developer with you could be a good choice, a good investment. So anyway, this is what we are able to, let's say you go through a loop, you extract 50 pages, you go with this one, or maybe you can have, maybe this is you extract, let's call it a basic response. Let's say you have different versions about it. You have this one, and maybe you have this one. Extract. And I like to have this flexibility here. I'm not sure, verbose, let's call it. I'm not sure if this is what the proper way to do it. Maybe there are other ways to do it. But anyway, this could be done in a single function in which you pass a parameter to it. And then when you start, I guess as soon as we start using more and more these function nodes, you get to the point to say like, okay, so what code should we run here? What code should maybe we put a function here that calls a microservice that we have somewhere else with some other technology. And there is where our data extraction is. You can be very flexible with it. We will see. I don't think there's a perfect approach to this. We will discover a lot about it in the process. We will try to make the best decisions. So if you go and have this, you scan 50 pages, and then you have the content of each page. Then you have, say page 1, this is your content. All of this here, and you scale this, page 2, and so on and so on. What it comes to building the documentation of n8n to feed it to Claude, I guess we need to be we should be more verbose, but without extracting the footer information. That I don't care about. But we should keep that information as is. So once we have everything, maybe we can just print it to a file, make a huge file, .txt, and that is what actually should be like. You could pass a name to it, but they will say maybe it will be minified and docs.txt, which has everything about it, and you pass it here. And that's it. You could have another situation in which, let's say you are not looking for documentation, you are doing a site migration. In that case, you want to, of course, be respectful with the original content, but let's say you can have an intermediate step to do a rewrite of the information because you want to change the language, you want to, and that's the flexibility of LLMs. You want to change the target, you want to change the tone, you can apply tones to different pages, if that makes sense. So you could have the extraction process basically. Let's try to make another diagram. Let's say you could have extraction process. You could have crawling. Is that a word? I hope it is. Because now, you know, this gives you more like, let's say, raw data. This gives you the digested data, information, let's call it. You see? So then you could have another process over here. Let's call it, I don't like rewriting and digestion either. So you could have some transformation. And this could be for many reasons, because maybe in this transformation process, that could be here because you want to give a new feeling to the information. You could have an adaptation process because let's say you are Strapi compatible. Because if you come from a CMS and you want to change to this new CMS and we want to make it super easy to you, maybe we can have predefined types and structures within Strapi. So you don't have to think about everything, because setting up Strapi takes time. Let's say you have a hero page. Well, we can provide templates on how that structure is going to be implemented. If you can have a frequently asked questions, okay, well, that has a specific format, a question and an answer, maybe an order or some other stuff. But since we have LLMs today for this type of processes, both the transformation and the adaptation to this new way of structure by choosing predefined data structures, we can use probably LLM calls or nodes in which that functionality is going to choose. We should offer you to the front end, which are the data types that we can give you. If you want something quickly, you could build your own for sure. And this process is gonna allow it to transform this one to your new format, which is not only gonna be Strapi compatible, but it's also gonna be, if we wanna make it easy for you, this should also be front-end compatible because templates, because maybe we should have predefined templates because you want to make this quick, maybe, or easy for non-technical users. It's not in that sense. The crawling process, you can even go one step before, and in order to crawl, you have to get the hierarchy. Basically, that's what we are doing at this moment. It comes to data extraction, new is a way of saying, yeah, but yeah, clean information, and that cleanness could have levels. So if I'm going to send this to Cloud for my personal use, maybe it will be here, Cloud Docs. Will be our endpoint. But for the use case of the actual idea, maybe we need to go further, But there are definitely similarities and things we will learn in this process. So, yeah. So how to continue from here? I will definitely do a quick research, and for that we can use Cloud. Like, we could probably ask, like, say I want to crawl to scan a website like n8n documentation in order to obtain a minified version of it. Pass it to my AI agent to help me come up with better solutions. So anyway, what are the things to consider when scanning a website in a proper manner to not get blocked or banned or something? Like, how many sites can I scan, or with what time constraints, or how frequently, and so on. So before giving that, I was trying to do some, I hope I'm not gonna get into trouble, but I did get the sitemap because this is all public information. I did get the sitemap of that documentation. Yeah, here it is. Oh no, this is the robots.txt. And here, yeah, but I did have, yeah, here it is. So I found out that there's some directories in which you should not go and look at them. Otherwise, I think scanning the documentation is okay. Let's ask here, because here it already has context. I've been using the concise style. I find it good. Otherwise, it's like too verbose. So I think we're ready for it. I mean, as soon as we make this to be a loop and put a limitation, say, I don't know, scan a website, a page every 10 seconds or whatever, we could calculate how long is that going to take. Yeah, which are areas of limits. Yeah, one request per 10 seconds, 30, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. We could definitely do this. Right. So it's probably, oh, there's something called a wait node. That's nice. Okay. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not sure. Yeah, I can. I hope this is okay, but we are not trying to do anything evil. But we could probably reach out to the support groups. I was there somewhere. Yeah. So, um, uh, when it comes to our original idea, I think this is something to consider as well. If you're going to give us this, um, how do I add an arrow? Anyway, if we, I guess this is interesting as well. This is another decision that we will have to make about the service that we are planning to provide. If we are going to allow people to say, quote unquote, migrate a website, mm, that opens up the possibility to clone any website, which I don't know why would someone do that. Well, of course, I can think about it in order to do phishing or whatever to hack people, but besides that, I don't see any reason for it. Like good with good intentions. So maybe you can only migrate a site if you like provide, is that a word, or like proof ownership. How do you prove the ownership? Maybe there could be different ways to do that, but as long as you prove the ownership, maybe then you can migrate your website. Um, Otherwise, I think it opens up a conversation about that subject. But yeah, so I guess when it comes to crawl a website, we should be able to add a loop here, make it very safe, make sure that we should probably ask, try to find out a little bit more about it in order to do it well without impacting in anything. In what it comes to our idea, we could request to prove ownership in order to do that, in order to do the migration, just in case we can see. Then in what it has to do with the technical aspect of that implementation, we have the site structure, and we are extracting the content of that page in this manner over here. It is helpful for sure. Claude already knows this, already has information about n8, but I heard that if it's good if you have it there, so it's gonna be like fresh for the model. and it's going to be able to provide better responses. This is another test that I did. As you can see, it has so much content. Content is within that page. It's just that we are not seeing everything at once, you know. So, and this one was another try attempt. So there's a lot of information there. So extracting what is valuable is definitely an art of itself. You'll even try to approach this in a different way. For example, you have a node in which you have the whole HTML, and instead of extracting basic response, let's say we have extract basic response, let's call it manually. Then you have, okay, so you have this node here, but let's say you have extract basic response with LLM, and then the code is going to be completely different, and you can have this here and this here, or some other, I don't know. You can think about this in this way, like you could have that whole HTML and send it to an LLM. We should probably include here replicate. We could be using replicate for the AI models. You know, I have been using this one. I feel comfortable with it. So you could also extract the content with an LLM, but if you have, like, say, 1,000 pages and every page has a huge HTML, I'm not sure if we can copy. Can I copy this? Is there any way I can do that? Like just the raw thing. But that will be maybe that's not gonna be the best way to do it, you know. That could be, as we have seen in those other, maybe for some cases, for some scenarios, for sure it's gonna be there for the, if we have the transformation or the adaptation, the LLM could be great there in that stage in particular. Otherwise, I think this is the way to go for now. Just using code to extract the titles, the descriptions. Here we probably had you see it says H1, 2, 3, the headings, the paragraphs, and so on. So I think that's going to be the way to go. So here we should build some sort of loop through to go. This could be a path to extract only one, but here, once we have the list of pages, which there are a lot, it's around, this is a good example. I think we have around more than 1,000. So 1,000 pages. Yeah, our website migration is probably going to be much smaller, I guess. But this is a good use case. So you have 1,000 pages. You can do, we can even ask here, say, pages. So what approach to take? I don't want to think about it too much. Okay, that's nice. This is what, and this is also raises an interesting question, you know. I don't care about everything. Maybe I care about tutorials. Reference could be API docs. Yeah, I need anything that will make Claude provide better responses. This is a different use case, you know. Maybe you could, I don't want to go too abstract here, but the extraction process to have clean information. This is tricky. This is an abstraction, but you could say, so okay, what is the purpose? I hope that's well written. Purpose of this extraction. Because if you can tell me what's your objective with this extraction process, maybe we can tackle that in a different way. There are probably solutions for web crawling. I even know a guy that has a company that specializes in that. It's, with scrapping websites. I hope I'm not rebuilding a wheel here, but I like to build stuff, and I want to do this from scratch and be very open about the process. And I wonder if we build stuff with our own hands when it's really meaningful to do it, we are going to learn a lot. So if we have 1,000 pages, let's say we do this in a couple of days, we set the loop to execute, let's say 3 requests, some requests by minute, hour, day, and you take some time to do it. This is really interesting. If you have these issues, then you stop the process. This could be, you can even think about storage. That's interesting. So okay, I think that's a good overview. Even more than that, we are close to 2 hours. I feel like taking a break, changing context, doing something else, maybe go for a walk or something. But I think we will leave it there. For now, that has been a good session explaining the idea. I will try to build that loop with all the necessary validations. Maybe try other websites to see what happens. And maybe we will meet again the next time with the new version of whatever's going on. And I think I think it's a good idea. I will try to export the n8n workflow, the diagram, the Google Docs presentation as well. And I will put everything so you can download it and use it for yourself. I will probably put it inside my Skool community if you're gonna go there and support what I have been doing. Let me know your thoughts about this. I hope you find it valuable. Thank you for your time. Thank you for saying bye-bye.